Our mission is to practice our water supply philosophy of education on a global scale and to build a society where all people on the planet can live happily and with ease. Our water supply philosophy of education is about providing education as inexpensively and reliably as possible, much like tap water. We strive to raise the standard of education for people around the world. Legendary business leader Konosuke Matsushita once said, "The mission of a manufacturer is to overcome poverty by producing an abundant supply of goods." Even though water can be considered a product, no one objects if a passerby drinks from a roadside tap. That is because the supply of water is plentiful and its price is low. Our mission as a manufacturer is to create material abundance by providing goods as plentifully and inexpensively as tap water. This is how we can banish poverty, bring happiness to people's lives, and make this world a better place. Japan has a long history of working to improve the water supply system, which reached more than 90% of the population by the 1880s. Konosuke Matsushita's management philosophy means that by providing low-cost and high-quality things in mass quantities, much like tap water, prices will come down and things will easily reach the hands of consumers. This later became known as his water supply philosophy. We identify with this philosophy and with a similar idea, are working to deliver education to every corner of the world. We have developed a global education platform and created a new project through which all participants can share in the benefits. That is Hermes Edu. The name Hermes was infused with our strong passion. Texts called Hermetica, believed to have been authored by Hermes Trismegistus centuries ago, greatly influenced later generations. The philosophy of Hermetica has been generally referred to as Hermeticism and is said to have had a profound impact on great historical figures. They include Nicholas Copernicus, who proposed the heliocentric theory, astronomer Johannes Kepler, William Gilbert, who proposed the theory on magnetic attraction and gravity, Gottfried Leibniz, who invented calculus, and scientist Isaac Newton. In the same way, we aim to nurture vast numbers of people who can greatly contribute to the development of human society in the future. We will realize the following through the education platform we are building. Localize high-quality education of developed countries and provide that to developing countries. Provide opportunities for economic development to people who have acquired knowledge and skills through learning. Provide economic benefits to those who support learners in developing countries. Supply exceptional human resources to educational institutions and companies in developing countries. We will eventually start building an ecosystem where education will be locally sourced and consumed. We will develop and provide a system that enables students not only to find jobs at companies, but also to become teachers, content providers, and education supporters. Our strength is that we have established a platform system in Japan that can be localized and developed on an educational platform for the entire world. Leveraging the knowledge of this platform around the world will allow top content creators from every country to collaborate. And by bringing together the best in educational content, we will forge a rich and wide-ranging source of education. The global education market is projected to expand to $10 trillion by 2030. The market for education is believed certain to experience explosive growth driven by the increasing global population. Statistics show that the number of young people, who are the primary source of labor, will decline in developed countries and rise in developing ones. And with the spread of smartphones, internet penetration rates are increasing in both developed and developing countries. Based on these factors, Educational platforms that encourage the improvement of education in developing countries are believed to be abounding in possibilities. But, at the same time, there are still disparities in educational levels between developed and developing countries. 4 key problems are seen as responsible for creating the education gap of developing countries: poverty, shortage of teachers, inadequate infrastructure, and sex discrimination. Because of these problems, around the world, there are many children who want to learn but can't, and adults who grew up without the opportunity to learn. We will offer people in such circumstances opportunities to learn and opportunities for economic development. We believe that education platforms can contribute to breaking the chain of poverty by making essential education available to people throughout the world. This project will help establish the recognition that people of limited education need to gain knowledge and skills by acquiring opportunities to learn, and that by applying that knowledge and those skills, they can make a living and increase their incomes, and ultimately pass on what they have learned to future generations. This is the education ecosystem we envision, and our aim is to create a virtuous cycle generation after generation. We aim to forge a system in which education will flow like water from developed countries to developing countries, and a fully functioning education ecosystem is established in developing countries. To realize a sustainable education platform project, we must develop infrastructure and content through the following 3 steps. First, securing the water source. Second, the education cycle. And third, diversity and localization. The water source in the first step represents financial resources, content, and participants. We will build up a system to ensure they continue growing. Our methodology of generating revenue at an early stage and achieving stable operations involves state-of-the-art IT engineer education in areas such as AI and blockchain technologies, for which there's a shortage of professionals and an urgent need for human resource development. Through business partnerships with content producers and by offering educational video and social media platforms that allow everyone to become a teacher and receive incentives based on the number of views and evaluations from the students, we will continually increase content. Learning supporters can earn incentives by encouraging students to take courses or through activities such as introducing content to other learners. They will be able to participate not as volunteers, but as businesses. The education cycle of the second step refers to establishing a system that links developed and developing countries and promotes the circulation of the various elements essential for education. For example, a portion of the usage fees paid by enrollees in developed countries and by affluent students in developing countries who are economically able to receive higher education will go towards reducing the fees of enrollees in developing countries. Profits from the introduction of talented individuals to companies or organizations requiring top-level human resources, as well as donations that are received, will also be allocated to an educational fund for students in developing countries. We will circulate not only funds but also curriculums, teaching materials, and content from developed countries to developing countries. Diversity and localization in the third step refers to promoting the diversification of the types of education and educational services, as well as support for multiple languages. Going beyond just the IT field, we will aggressively expand the types of education offered to areas such as education for human resources in the nursing care and medical fields, general education, and language education. We will increase language localization and gradually expand coverage of developing countries. In addition, by expanding our related businesses, such as staffing, corporate training, and school operation, we are confident we can further raise profitability. Since our project was launched in September 2018, we have been steadily moving forward to realize our water supply philosophy of education. In 2019, we will start practical trials of our state-of-the-art IT engineer education ecosystem in fields such as AI and blockchain technologies. Through a partnership agreement with a company creating educational content for cutting-edge IT engineers, which are in short supply, we will translate English language content into Japanese, Vietnamese, and Indonesian. In 2020, we will begin providing the ecosystem for state-of-the-art IT engineer education and launch the state-of-the-art IT engineer education human resources matching service. We will start trial operations of the education ecosystem in the Asian region, and by 2023, establish the Asian regional base of the education ecosystem. In 2025, we will become the top brand in education ecosystems in the Asian region and capture more than 10 million users. In 2030, our platform will have the #1 market share in developing countries. At the same time, we will have more than 100 million users. In 2040, we will have established a position as the world's biggest educational platform, with the number of users exceeding 2 billion, which would account for 20% of the global population. This is our vision, and we are aiming to make this project the key to education in societies of the future. Hermes Edu Token Economy was created by Hermes Edu Coin, which is a cryptographic token formed on the Hermes Edu network. Hermes Edu Coin serves as a settlement token for educational content and services, with the aim of putting it into practical use in the education ecosystem. In addition, Hermes Edu Coin will not simply be distributed in the education industry alone, but eventually become available for use in real-world society, such as to buy goods and services in non-education categories. The global education market is projected to reach $10 trillion in 2030. We believe that educational platforms that encourage the improvement of education levels in developing countries are abounding in possibilities. Many children in the world are unable to learn despite their desire to, and many adults grew up without the opportunity to learn. It is for people in such circumstances that we offer opportunities to learn and opportunities for economic development. We believe that education platforms can contribute to breaking the chain of poverty by making essential education available to people throughout the world. This project will help establish the recognition that people of limited education need to gain knowledge and skills by acquiring opportunities to learn, and that by applying that knowledge and those skills, they can make a living and increase their incomes and ultimately pass on what they've learned to future generations. This is the education ecosystem we envision, and our aim is to create a virtuous cycle generation after generation. We aim to forge a system in which education will flow like water from developed countries to developing countries, and a fully functioning education ecosystem is established in developing countries. You and us together, let's build a society where all people on this planet can live happily and with ease.